Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 10th. I have some good news and some bad news, Libra. So the bad news is that I'm reading on my new setup, and not everything is set up. So you're gonna have to put up with that. The bad news also is that I lost your reading from that I already did for you. So I already did your reading. The good news is that this is going to be a longer reading because everybody else that I did for this week, they were the short readings because I did them before I moved. So that is the good news, I guess, right? But we're going to jump right in here. You have this sun card, the sun card here, and also the dog. These are from the Lenormand, and so the sun card can represent like good news or a positive message coming in for you at this time. And the dog can represent like loyalty or someone who is loyal to you and or receiving, some sort of loyal message from a person. So I kind of feel like there is a loyal message, and cards just really want to come out for you this week. So that was like 20 cards. I'm only going to take 2 of them, but we're going to see what is going on for you at this time. And again, you are literally the other little bit of good news here is that this is the first time I'm reading here. So you get the very first reading in my very new place at this time. But again, you have the sun and the dog. So the sun and the dog together can represent like good news or a positive message coming in for you at this time. I do feel like some sort of good news is coming in after a difficult period of time. You go from the Ace of Cups down to the Ten of Swords to the Tower. The other interesting thing is that you end the reading with this card that says the end of a tough cycle approaches. So you could be ending some sort of tough cycle or ending something that's been repeating in your life. So in your first row, you have the Ace of Cups here, the Five of Swords, and the Chariot. The Ace of Cups, of course, could represent love. But again, whenever we have the Sun in the Lenormand I consider to be like a little bit more specific when it comes to messages. It's kind of like a little bit more specific than the tarot. To me, the tarot is much more flexible. Lenormand is kind of more of a system, if that makes sense. But whenever I have like 2 aces like this, the sun is the Ace of Diamonds in the Lenormand. To me, this would definitely represent some sort of message, especially when I'm trying to spit out here, is especially with that sun card, the Ace of Pentacles in the Lenormand. There's like some sort of good news or there's some sort of message coming in for you. The interesting thing is that it could be about a breakup, right? Roll your eyes with me here, Libra. But you have the Five of Swords here, so it could be some sort of separation. And this could be you, kind of like the whole entire reading is telling me that you are really coming out the winner, or you're coming out kind of like, I don't really feel like you're coming out on top of a situation necessarily, but I do feel that you are coming out kind of like on the right side of things, if that makes sense. And that's really the feeling I get from this reading. This guy here at the front, he is the winner. He has won the battle. Really, to me, the fives have the easiest solutions in the tarot, as I always say. The solution from the Five of Swords is just to walk away as the winner. The other solution that we have with the Five of Swords is to take some sort of risk. So the risk we can take with the Five of Swords is like moving on or moving forward or stepping into something new. And, I kind of get this sense of you really valuing yourself in this reading, just in general. The reason I say this is because you have the Fool. You also have the Judgment card to the Tower, which I'll actually show you right here. So you have Judgment to Tower. I personally consider Judgment to the Tower to be the most powerful combination in the tarot. To me, these 2 cards together really represent some sort of like major wake-up call or, having a major realization, like really kind of waking up to something. And with that Fool, it tells me that you're ready for some sort of new beginning. Actually, all your cards kind of do here. You have the Chariot. The Chariot is definitely some sort of new beginning. He's leaving this city behind him here behind, and he's really taking control of his life. And so I feel the gist of this reading, again, this first row is going to be your current general energies. To me, it really is just saying that you are kind of taking control of your life, or you are realizing something new. I almost just messed up your entire spread here on this new table. It's too slippery. But I feel like you are kind of realizing that you need to have some sort of new beginning, or that you want to have a new beginning. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive. You always get the Queen of Wands with me, I've noticed quite a bit. And so you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want, really making things happen in your life. And so I feel like you're embracing kind of that new energy. I would also say that the sun is kind of shining on you. You have the sun and you have the Queen of Wands here. And so the Queen of Wands, she has this sunflower, and the sunflower says that she moves towards, sorry, I told you, first time practicing here. So the sun says she's moving towards the sun. And with the Five of Swords, you have the Four of Swords, which is like resting, relaxing, recovering. I feel like you are healing or, again, resting from some sort of separation or something that you have experienced. With the Chariot, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, we already see a lot of aces without even really digging into the reading. And the aces would really represent these messages or positive messages that could be coming in for you, but also new beginnings. And so I feel like this first row is really talking about new beginnings. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Orphan card, and you also have this Never-Ending Story card. And so, again, I feel that maybe some of you have kind of like ended a cycle or have ended a tough cycle, as your last card says. That last card is coming up in the area of the good stuff. So I would say that there is some sort of ending or some sort of, kind of like unexpected ending that you have experienced in your life. And it could have had you feeling very left out in the cold, or like something was never going to come to an end. And I kind of get that feeling here of, it's the best way I could describe the feeling is, if you've ever been really sick and you just feel like you're never going to get better, it's like that feeling like of, oh my God, am I ever, am I always going to feel this way? Am I always going to feel like I'm sick, or am I always going to feel like, this feeling that I'm feeling right now? And so I feel some of you have experienced that, and that seems to me like what you're coming out of. I'm actually going to skip forward to the Judgment card because, again, I feel that recently you've had some sort of wake-up call or some sort of major realization about like where you're going in your life, or where you want things to go. Again, having the Judgment right next to the Tower is a big revelation, some sort of sudden feeling or some sort of sudden insight that you have gained, especially these two together. And so I feel like you've gained an insight, or you've had some sort of wake-up call where maybe you realized that you do want to bring something to an end. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with in your life. Personally, I think the Ten of Swords is a good card because he is definitely dead, and he realizes that, it's the end of his situation. There's nothing more for him to do. His next steps are to just move on, or to move forward, or to, completely change his life in some way. He's even making this symbol right here with his hands, and that symbol represents a blessing. So it's kind of the same symbol that the Hierophant is making on his card, and, just represents a blessing, or some sort of blessing in disguise. And so I feel for a lot of you, you could be realizing that something that has come to an end is a blessing, or you could be realizing that something needed to come to an end so you could experience a blessing in your life. And, I really feel that you are kind of seeing this now. I also feel that with the Fool showing up at the top of this row, it's kind of like important to see how far you've come. He has these tattered sleeves right here on his arms, and the tattered sleeves kind of suggest that he has been on this journey before. He has done what he's about to do before. In the Major Arcana, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we just start all over again as a Fool. And so he's realizing that he's done this before, and his intentions are in the right place as well. He's got this white rose, and the white rose represents pure intentions in the tarot, kind of represents the place that he's coming from, and it represents the fact that he has pure intentions as far as like where he is going. And so I feel for a lot of you that this is kind of like saying that you are approaching kind of like a new beginning from a much more pure place, and, like a place of understanding, So I think that this reading is actually pretty positive, and it's definitely going in a much better direction. With the Fool, you have the Eight of Pentacles. I'm just getting like better results. I think there's been major work changes for you in past readings with me for quite a while. And I think work is something that has had to change for you, Virgo, or for Virgo, for you, Libra, for a long time. Hopefully I haven't been calling you Virgo this whole entire time, but for you, Libra, I feel like there have been these changes that have had to happen. And now you're kind of like going through these work changes. I think that over the next couple of years, especially, you can expect better work situations to show up in your life, or just like even, better opportunities where you can get better results. With the Ten of Swords, you have the World and the Knight of Swords. You're ready. I think that Knight of Swords is saying you are like ready to be ready for a new beginning. You're charging towards this new world, this change that you're making in your life. And I think you've had a wake up call. Again, I would even, like this is one of those readings where I would encourage you to even look at past situations. Again, we don't want to live in the past, but I think it's perfectly fine to look at past situations. This is giving me the vibes that, maybe a past relationship, but this could be anything. This could be a job loss or just multiple losses that you've experienced. I think all these losses are almost like little reflections on what you don't want to have in your life, right? And so I think it would be a good time for you to like look at the past in the sense like, oh, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, and to really focus more now on what you do want, but also to pay attention to what you don't want so you can avoid it moving forward. And so I feel like for you to have the best new beginning, that's what those two cards are kind of saying. With the Judgment card, you have the Ten of Cups. Yes, fortune after difficulty. This is like a major blessing after a difficult period of time. Again, you've been in never-ending story mode where everything has been the same. Groundhog's Day, kind of like going over the same cycles. You have all these cycle cards showing up here in this reading as well. So I think you've definitely experienced like multiple cycles. And now it's time for, to choose happiness. I always say that on the Ten of Cups, they are choosing to be happy. Those cups exist in the clouds above their heads. So they are having to choose happiness or having to, choose to be happy, basically. And, I think that, this card is sometimes I feel like to get the blessing out of the Ten of Cups, that we have to look for more things that bring happiness into our life. Like we have to, we don't just get to be happy, right? And so I feel like this is saying start looking for more of those things that will make you happy. Next, in the area of what's coming towards you, you have this Release card and this Truth card. I think you're admitting the truth to yourself here, Libra. I think it's more like you're telling yourself the truth, right? And, I think that's the important thing here is that you are telling yourself the truth about new situations or, potential new beginnings. And also, I think you're telling yourself the truth about the past so you can release it, just like that Release card says. It's like you're just letting go of things so that there can be a rebirth or so that there can be new energy that comes in for you. I think this row is like pretty clear. You have the Eight of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the Tower. Something, whatever this past situation was, brought conflict into your life. Eight of Swords is like being stuck. She is kind of choosing to be stuck. She could easily set herself free on the Eight of Swords. It's a card of self-imposed restriction. But I feel like really the trick for you is to value yourself. We have the Nine of Pentacles right here. And I kind of feel like the Nine of Pentacles is saying like, hey, there are choices you could make that would, be choices. Sorry, I'm gonna keep doing that. But, I think there are choices you could make that are gonna be choices where you put yourself first. Like she is pre-Empress energy, the Nine of Pentacles. So she is learning to put herself first. She's learning to value herself and value what she brings to the table. And when she starts putting herself first, she's like living her truth. And that's where the blessings come from with the Nine of Pentacles. And I feel like that's what this is saying. I feel like the two fives, Five of Swords here, Libra, and also the Five of Wands are really saying that when you take that risk to put yourself first, that's, again, where those blessings are going to come from. I always say, like, the Five of Wands is an adventure. And sorry, again, I have to learn where to hold these now because it's all different. I have so much muscle memory from years of putting my hands in the same place, right? But anyway, I think that you have to learn. Maybe you have to learn, like, where to put yourself. The Five of Wands is conflict and competition. But really, I always look at the Five of Wands as a card, I call it Indiana Jones. To me, it's a card where you have to go on, like, some sort of crazy adventure to get the rewards from life that you want. And so I feel like that there are rewards that are coming in for you, but there might be some, kind of like little, risks that you have to take to get these rewards. And by risks, I don't mean like crazy risk. I just mean risks like speaking up or speaking your mind or not putting up with whatever, this situation was or whatever the, whatever this potential separation or never ending story. It's like now it's almost as if, like, I don't think this is true, but, it's almost as if this reading is saying that you are kind of like breaking a certain curse. It's like, there's that book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself or whatever by Joe Dispenza. It's like, that's what I get here. It's like, I feel like you're breaking the curse of being yourself. Not that it's really a curse, but, it's like, I think we all have those habits. We all have those things where we don't put ourselves first. And, it's almost like this reading is just saying you're like ending a tough cycle, like that last card says, because you're putting yourself first. You have the Tower. Again, I think with the Tower and the Judgment card, some sort of revelation that you're having, or you're kind of like maybe you're waking up more to those moments where you put other people first or instead of yourself, right? With the Eight of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. We have two portal cards in a row here. So going World to the Wheel of Fortune, I consider all circle cards to be portal cards like this. The world is kind of like you're ending a circle, you're ending a cycle. The Wheel of Fortune says that you have a choice on how you complete a cycle or how you live a cycle in your life. The Wheel of Fortune is, I think very appropriate for the time that we're in right now. We are definitely in a time where I believe we all really need to take control of our destiny. I don't see it in your reading, but I think just general collective energy, the best way to do this is to follow your heart, like whatever your heart is telling you to do. Now, with the Five of Wands, you have the Six of Pentacles. Definitely planting better seeds. We even see that here because you go up to the Nine of Pentacles, and she has the fruits of her labor behind her. She has those grapes behind her, and grapes represent something that's very difficult to grow. And so I feel for a lot of you that you're starting to get better results for the work that you do, or you just are getting better results for the work that you're doing in your life. And yeah, you really, I thought I was going to say more, but I have nothing else. That's amazing, Libra. With the Tower, you have the Nine of Swords. You also have the Page of Swords wanting to jump out here. The cards are definitely wanting to speak for you here, Libra. But the Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare, and the Page of Swords is about being curious, like what if things are different, or what if things could be different. And I kind of feel right here that maybe you've had, and I'm pretty sure I titled one of your readings like a few months ago, like Taste of a Good Life or something like that. And it's kind of giving me those feelings where sometimes I think we get stuck being negative, right? Trust me, I've been there, not a criticism. And sometimes I think we get stuck in this negative mode, or we get stuck feeling like things are never going to change, or like things are going to always be negative, or whatever the case may be. But then something happens in our life that kind of breaks us out of the cycle. And I really am wondering if kind of like, here I am babbling on for like 16 minutes, but I wonder if that's where this reading is going. It's like saying, things aren't perfect. You've definitely been through something, but now what's happening is that you are kind of breaking free from something, or you are breaking free from, it's like you're breaking free from a challenge, or you have maybe had a taste of the good life or some sort of improvement, or you've seen that things can be different. And in the area of the good stuff, you have this card. Are you kidding? It says it's time to release negativity, everything I just said. And you also have this end of a tough cycle approaches. So I really feel that you are kind of ending these challenging cycles that you've been experiencing in your life for a long time. And things are starting to improve, or are going to start improving, especially if you choose it. You have the Nine of Pentacles, and she is a card of focus. We have this falcon right here. And the falcon on the Nine of Pentacles represents training your focus, or kind of focusing your focus in a lot of ways. So I feel that a lot of you are kind of like training your focus here, or you're improving your focus, which is great. I also feel like you could be kind of like discovering new things to focus on, better things to focus on. The other thing is that she is focused on where her energy goes. She has 3 pentacles here, 6 over here. She is willing to give 3 pentacles worth of energy to any new situation in her life, but she always keeps 6 pentacles for herself. And so I feel for a lot of you, maybe you've learned that you only have so much to give, and you can only give so much to any situation in your life. So I really feel that you are more, like I said at the beginning of the reading, you're much more in this like protective mode, or protecting your energy. You have the Six of Swords, definitely improvements, and literally if there was a card in the tarot that kind of represented the end of a tough cycle approaching, it would be the Six of Swords. So I kind of feel like this is just confirming the message that we have right there. And, obviously that's a good thing. And you also have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like quick success, or a quick conclusion. So I feel like you are ending this, this negative time in your life, if it's been negative. And even if it hasn't been negative, things can always improve. Things can always get better. I would also, just as a side note, pay attention to any good news that you could be receiving. Because again, I really feel like there's, you have a bunch of good news cards. Even the Page of Swords can represent that as well. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Wands. So quick success, again, quick conclusion coming in for you, or good news. With the Six of Swords, you have the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. I do feel pretty much all signs could do anything with teamwork. I also feel like you're, again, there's like a little bit of a side message, and this has been going on for you for a while, that there could be improvements just in your work. And so if you haven't been getting recognized for your work, or if you haven't been getting the recognition you feel like you deserve, which is probably true, for work, I think that you are getting, more recognition, or there is, recognition coming in for you based off the work that you do. And with the Eight of Wands, you have the Five of Wands again. So you're like, again, coming out on top. I get, it's not really like coming out on top energy. I think you're just maybe a better way to say this would be that I feel you're rising above something that you're realizing is just below you and you're just rising up. So I definitely get that feeling here as well. I just realized I don't have a deck for 5 main themes, so we're going to go Lenormand here. For your first one, you have this Joker card. This deck that I'm using, I can't remember the name of it, but this one has some random cards that aren't really Lenormand cards in it. This Joker card is like a wild card, and so I kind of feel that whatever you focus on this week is what you're going to get at this time. You have the Garden here as well, so I feel that for some of you, I kind of just get this energy of like needing to enjoy yourself more. You do have polka dots here. You have the Three of Pentacles. This lady has polka dots on her cloak. And sometimes I feel with the polka dots in the tarot, it kind of represents needing to not take things too seriously, needing to have more fun, needing to do more of the things that you love to do in your life. You also have this, the Queen of Pentacles here, or the Queen of Diamonds. And so I feel for a lot of you, it's like there's some sort of choice that you have. And again, I would pick the positive choice. It's almost like it's like not a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's almost like, you can stay stuck in the negative or you can move towards the positive. And obviously I would move more towards the positive with that card. You have the Letter as well. I mean, you can't make that up. So there's clearly communication, or there's more positive communication coming in for you this week. And finally, you have the Seven of Pentacles, which is called the Birds. The birds can represent messages as well. So I definitely feel there's like good news coming in for you this week. But this is one heck of a reading here, Libra. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.